Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of making my Mini-Muerta island in Jurassic World Evolution 2. In the last episode, I built this herbivore valley with a little guest section and some viewing attractions. And then of course in episode 1, I built the Rex enclosure along with the park entrance and this little guest section. For this episode, you guys decided on the swamp environment enclosure with Deinocheirus and Therizinosaurus. I built it as close as possible to the entrance just to conserve space a little bit, and I figured any space that I don't use, I'll just fill in with trees when I'm done. Usually when I think of a swamp environment, I picture an area with lots of water and lots of mud, so I decided to cover this entire area in dirt, just to give it the appearance that it's mushy or marshy. I was trying to plan ahead for how exactly I wanted to do the viewing galleries for this enclosure, because I wanted the fence to be as close to the path as possible. Even though the guests in this game can't actually view through fencing, I wanted to imagine that they could, that way they could see the dinosaurs without actually having to go in a viewing gallery. When I got up to this hill here, I switched to the invisible fencing just because it looks a lot less bulky and weird, especially when it's on a slope. When the water on the island connects to the ocean, I like to kind of use it as a natural barrier. So I used the heavy fencing on land, and then I used the invisible fencing in the water. This gives it the appearance that there's not actually a barrier there, even though it still keeps the dinosaurs in the enclosure. I decided to use one of the log viewing galleries for this enclosure, because since it's a swamp biome, it'll be the easiest to cover up and blend in with the trees. Again, I wanted this to be a swamp biome, so I covered most of the enclosure with water, with only a few areas of land for plant growth. To make the edge of the enclosure feel less abrupt, I just added a little bit of grass here. Now I just covered the entire enclosure with every type of tropical tree that I could find, so here is a montage of that. Now I just had to place some fish for the Deinocheirus, and this enclosure would be done. I don't know what happened to the second clip that I had recorded for this video, but I lost it somewhere. So I'm just going to explain what else I did. There was an empty section next to the herbivore enclosure from episode 2, so I filled that in with guest amenities and attractions. And I also finished transporting all the dinosaurs into this swamp enclosure. Sorry that this episode was so short, hopefully you enjoyed regardless, and stay tuned for the vote for episode 4.